Oh. Hey guys, Drackle here. I got a couple things to do today. We're going to look at some redstone projects, first of all. We're also going to look at do a little bit of testing with some TNT, hopefully, and some trap ideas, that kind of stuff. And we're also going to talk a little bit about the 1.8 patch, which should be coming out, I think, about 2 weeks from now. That's going to be really cool. But first, let's go ahead and look at my variable timer. And this has been a few weeks in the making. I finally got it to where I wanted. I had it working for the longest time, but it was kind of weird. I mean, the way I did it was weird, and it didn't really make sense. So I've more or less finished it. And here I've hooked up a door for an easy demonstration for the system. Now this timer is designed to be used in cannons, basically TNT cannons and sand cannons. And the idea is to set a variable amount of time on the projectile charge of a TNT cannon, so it will go a certain distance. Basically that's how it works and what it does. But there's other applications for it. I'm thinking about using it with minecarts and track switching, and I'm trying to think of more ways to use it, but right now I'm sort of coming up empty. But if you guys have any ideas what I can do with this other than, you know, my cannons, then let me know. Okay, so I've hooked up a door, and basically what this whole system does is it lets you set the delay before a circuit activates. So let's get right into it. Alright, let's start with an 8-tick delay. We hit the lever, set 8-tick delay, and then we press the go button. As you can see, the door opens after 8 ticks. Now, say you don't want 8 ticks, you want 16 ticks. So have the 16-tick delay. As you can see, that takes significantly longer. And then we have a 24-tick delay. And that takes the longest of all. Now, you can make these delays whatever you want. You can make it 2 ticks, 4 ticks, 8 ticks, whatever. Entirely up to you, and you can even add more at the expense of making the whole system bigger. That's not really a big deal. And you can always change the settings manually if you needed to. But it's actually a lot smaller than it originally was. This whole section here is actually just to bring the wiring over here to the control panel. If you wanted to make it even smaller, you would put the levers like, oops, you could put the levers like around here, here, and here. But this works nicely. It brings all our stuff over to the control panel here. Now, oh, you can also use a lever. I forgot to mention that. So we have 24-tick delay set, and say we want that door to stay open. And there we go. Just like that. Alright, so the way this thing works, and it's actually not that complicated. We have our settable delays, and what those do, let's see, I'm going to set delay to 8. You notice on my left hand side there, that torch right there turned off, right here. And this is an AND gate, basically what it is. We have this lever turning this line of power on, and it goes into this side of the AND gate right there. Okay, and now when I press this button, you can see the other torch goes off and power goes through the AND gate. Now the whole idea behind this system is we have the, let's call this the go button, the start button, and it travels up here through these repeaters, and this gives it some delay. This gives it actually a 6-tick delay, and then goes down in here to this side of the AND gate. Now what happens when the circuit gets here, it says okay, now we have the pulse from the button on this side of the AND gate. It says okay, but do we also have the 8-tick lever turned on? And it says, oh yes, yes we do. Therefore, okay, let's turn this torch on. So basically what's happening is every time it reaches one of these AND gates, it's checking, okay, is this the correct delay? Is that the correct delay? And if it is, it will let it through and open the door. So, practical example, let's turn on the 16 tick delay. And as you can see, that torch over there on the middle AND gate is now off. And now when I press this button, this torch will also turn off, which lets this torch turn on and supply power to the door. Use the lever here. And as you can see, this torch is now on, but these are all off. It does the same thing on these too. It's getting the pulse from the lever in this case, and it's coming to this side of the AND gate, and it's saying, okay, so we have the start button pressed, but we do not have this lever on. So basically it says, nope, you can't pass through because the 8-tick lever is not on. But over here, it says, alright, yes, do we have the start button? Yes, we have that start button. Do we have the 16-tick lever? Yes, we do, because this is turned on. It says, okay, so we have the button and we have the 16-tick lever set, therefore you can pass through this gate and open the door. And as you can see, the power is not coming from there, it's coming from this gate. So that's a quick explanation of how this thing works. It's actually really not that complex. The delay comes from these repeaters, and it actually goes all the way down the line, regardless of what you do. So if I turn this off and I hit the button, you can see it travels all the way down, even past the place where it's supposed to end. So yeah, that's basically the variable timer. It's actually not that hard. Alright, so as most of you have heard, the new patch is coming out in the next few weeks. Minecraft 1.8, the adventure update. Long awaited. It's got a lot of cool stuff. New world features, new terrain. They're gonna put in rivers and randomly generated dungeons and abandoned mine shafts and all sorts of really cool land features, a new lighting system, new lighting engine for the game. Maybe just an updated one, I'm not sure if it's new. A whole bunch of really cool stuff. If you're worried about if you're going to have to make a new world with 1.8, no, you don't have to. Because whenever you, say in this world right now, the places I've explored have been loaded into memory. But if I were to go to a place I've never been before, then the game actually will create a new chunks, new landscape as I go. And once 1.8 comes out, that's what you can do. You can just go visit new areas you've never been before in your old maps, I guess, and it will randomly generate with the new 1.8 terrain features. So you don't have to start a new game unless you want to. When 1.8 does come out, though, I'm going to make a new world just for testing. I'm going to keep this world, but we're going to make a new world just for that episode, and we're going to go around and explore stuff. It's going to be really cool. So that's what we're going to do. Some of the changes in 1.8, besides the landscape and whatnot, obviously the new mob. The Enderman mob is going to be 3 blocks tall, and they're pretty spooky. They're also very rare. Apparently, if you look at the mob, directly look at it, like put your cursor over it, it'll freeze and look back at you. But when you look away, it'll attack, and that's pretty friggin' spooky, I think. But other than that, they're neutral. They won't bother you unless you bother them, and they can teleport. And people also say they can move blocks. And a lot of people are worried they're going to break, your house or your traps or stuff like that. I wouldn't be too worried about that. If they could do that, everyone would just quit Minecraft. So there's probably going to be rules, like they can only move certain types of blocks or blocks that you never placed. Like I'm guessing they'll only be able to move blocks that are naturally created by the engine. So they could probably move these sand blocks because I've never touched them, but they probably couldn't move my wool blocks there, or the blocks in my house. So that's my guess. I'm not quite sure. A couple of other new things. We have new materials. I think brick stairs and new stone stairs. There's a new glass material, glass panes that are not like they're not like this. They're actually just one side. So like they look like a pane of glass. It's not like a whole block. What else? Oh, obviously the mobs are going to drop different things now. The zombies are going to drop rotting flesh, and I have no idea what that's going to do. But hell, it's probably going to be better than feathers. And see, the chickens are going to drop chicken meat, which is cool because I'm sick of getting feathers from chickens also. So that's going to be another a food item. And the cows are supposed to drop beef as well. So I think that's going to cause problems for my passive system because now I'm going to be getting a ton of loot, a ton of extra loot. But from what I've heard, food items will now stack in your inventory, so you're not going to have your inventory filled with, you know, one pork chop here, one pork chop there. It's all going to be like a stack of pork chops basically, and a stack of beef, a stack of chicken. So that's what I've heard, and I very much hope that is the case. Because otherwise, it's going to break my mob system basically, because I'm going to be getting tons of loot, and I can't really go AFK anymore. But I think that stacking will work nicely if that's actually the case. Now, oh, we're gonna have new farming things. We're gonna be able to farm pumpkins, which is gonna be cool. We can make jack-o'-lanterns and shit. And the other thing cool about jack-o'-lanterns is you can put them underwater, so we're gonna be able to explore underwater a little bit better, if you so choose. And we're also getting melons. Melons are another food item, and you can farm them. That'll be cool. So I think that's pretty much most of the new stuff. It's another new mob, not really a new mob, but a reskinned spider, the blue spider. That's supposed to be more deadly than normal spiders, and you find those in the abandoned mine shafts. And yeah, let me just check and see if I missed anything. All right, so I forgot one of the biggest points. NPC villages. We've heard a lot of talk about them. From what I can see, there are no NPCs yet. And even if there are NPCs, I don't think they're going to do anything, at least for a long time. But there will be villages in the game. And from what I've seen, they look pretty cool. They're randomly generated villages made of different blocks. It looks like a little village. It does. I guess that's the point. But there's supposed to be a village near your spawn point when you make a new world. So hey, you can run over there and just hang out in the village instead of building your first house. Maybe, I don't know if that's gonna work. That's gonna be cool. There's gonna be cobwebs that are spun by spiders. I don't know what they're gonna do quite yet. And there's gonna be new biomes. And if you don't know what a biome is, well, this is a desert biome for instance. Over there is a forest biome. There's a whole bunch of them. You have the snow biomes and that kind of stuff. So there's going to be new biomes that we can explore. So yeah, that's more or less the 1.8 patch. And I've kind of future-proofed my traps for the new Enderman mob. As you know, my tower is 3 blocks tall with every roof. I think it's actually 4 blocks, but at least 3 because the mob has to be 3. The mob is 3 blocks tall. And from what I've heard, they take damage when they come in contact with water. So that'll work out nicely because the whole goddamn tower is filled with water. So, yeah. Though they're going to be pretty rare, the spawns. Other than that, there's not too much I can do to really future-proof anything for the new update. Because nothing is really going to be broken as far as I can tell. But there will be a lot of new stuff to do when the patch comes out. So we're going to have a lot of fun. I mean, I can't wait for that patch. Wish it was like today. Come on. Come on. Oops. You know, I haven't harvested this wheat farm in like ever. This has been sitting here for like 3 weeks and I haven't done jack shit. Anyway, so that's the 1.8 patch, and I think we're going to wrap up this episode by doing a few tests. I'm on fire, bro. Put me out, bro. That's better. As you can see, I got a new skin. It's actually Boba Fett. I'm Boba Fett. Anyway, enough messing around. What button did I just push? That's weird. I wonder if F6 does anything. Anyway, we're going to wrap this up by doing a couple of tests. And I'm apologizing if this was a boring episode. I wanted to get those 1.8 patch details out there, and I'm just starting graduate school now, so I haven't had a lot of time the last few days to record stuff. So anyway, the first thing we're going to do is test an old myth. Do cacti destroy loot? Okay, let's do it. Yep, yes they do. That is the reason you don't build cacti traps. They don't really work. They can work if you just have the cacti like out here and mobs just walk into it. So you can, plant a garden or a forest of cacti. That works, but the mob has to come in there on their own volition basically, and it's very difficult to wander around and pick up all their loot. But that does work. It's an easy trap to make. Second, does fire destroy loot? And you can probably guess, yes it does. The reason I'm testing this is I'm getting kind of bored of using the same traps, and I wanted to see if I could use either of these effectively. And I probably will do something cool with them. Alright, and our other test is, will TNT ignite each other if they're separated by a block of water? Okay, so we have our TNT there, block of water there. We got this here. Alright. Just like this. And my flint and tinder. Nope. Okay. Useful to know. That way you can have TNT charges in close proximity that can go off at different times for different reasons or whatever you want. All you gotta do is separate it by a block of water. That's really quite simple. Did that TNT just knock that out? Weird. Anyway, so that's all I wanted to do this episode. Next episode, I'm not quite sure what we're going to do. I do want to rework my separators for the passive mob system. I'm just not happy with the whole chicken situation. So I might rip out that whole middle level and just redo it. I think that's what I'm going to do. And then you guys can watch me build it, I suppose. I'm not sure if I'll get around to that next episode or maybe the one after, but I definitely have to do that because it's really pissing me off. So that's what we're going to do, and I hope you've enjoyed this video. I know it was a little bit boring, but hey, I can only do so many good episodes, right? I try my best. And this has been Drackle. If you guys liked what you saw, please subscribe, do whatever. Set myself on fire. What's the deal with this? So hit the subscribe button if you haven't, and I will see you guys next time.